I've talked with a lot of successful men, and something they don't like is successful women because they feel intimidated. Some of them, and some of them would like to be like same as women, like they wouldn't mind like staying at home. So there's like this ego thing about men, that some men are intimidated by successful women.
It's not that they're intimidated, it's that women that make money and are successful are annoying most of the time. That's what they don't want to tell you.
Combative.
Because women that are successful act like men. And men don't want to date themselves. If I wore heels, right, and put lipstick on once a week, you probably wouldn't date me, right? You wouldn't, because I'm acting like a girl, right?
I would want to see you like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't, but I'm saying if I did that once a week, you probably wouldn't take me seriously, correct?
Yeah, but like
so hold on, stop.
Sorry.
So you wouldn't date me when I act feminine. Why should a man date you when you're acting masculine?
There are so many women out there that had it all wrong like her by thinking that those men were intimidated by successful women. I think that most men wouldn't mind dating or being with a successful woman, but where most men might decide not to is because of the reason he mentioned. The headaches and hassles that sometimes comes with dating that type of woman will soon become not worth it to most men, because at the end of the day, men want peace. Men don't want to deal with a woman that's constantly combative and going against them. And like Myron said, men don't want to date themselves.
For a man to even have choice with women in the first place, he has to build himself up. He has to most guys, they have to be charming, make a bunch of money, have some status, have some swag about them. Like, that's to even have more than one woman interested in them in the first place. So if I've spent my entire life as a guy building up my status or learning how to be a smooth talker or making money or whatever, why should I settle for one woman? Why? Honestly, why? Because I spent my whole life...
Why should a woman settle for one man?
Because it's easy for a woman.
Just
I have to work to get access to vagina, let's say, right? You don't have to work to get access to the average guy.
He did a great job explaining his point to them, and he's 100% right. Women live in a world where they can have their pick at most men, and they don't really have to put in any work to get that man. But for men, it's the complete opposite, especially if you're a man that wants a shot at a top tier level woman. Before a man can even think about approaching that type of woman, he has to have so many things in order in his life. And even if he has some of those things he mentioned, like status, money, etc., there's still no guarantee that a man will get the girl simply because that girl has at least 100 other men of the same caliber or better trying to get with her.
When I was a kid and I was a chess player and I was winning, my dad always encouraged me to brag. He said, yeah, you won. Go brag. Tell him you won. This is the real world. You won. Only losers are going to be upset when winners talk. I'm not saying go through life and be completely unlikable. But if you wake up every day and you look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm the man. Who out there can do more than what I can do? If you really believe that in yourself, then what's going to happen is you're going to feel motivated to prove it. You have to have a mental disorder to have an ego with no justification. But if you're going to wake up every day and work your ass off and make money and buy cars and train and be in fantastic physical shape to prove your ego, so when someone comes along and goes, well, what's your problem? You say, I ain't got a problem. My life's good.
I have to agree with this. As long as there's justification for that ego, I think it's a good thing to have that mentality. Putting that pressure on yourself is a good way to trick your mind and force yourself into action and get stuff done and become successful. In the real world, everyone doesn't get a participation trophy. You either perform or the guy next to you will and send you home with nothing.
Do you ever regret working so much? Like, was it worth it?
My first marriage fell apart. What I was left with is that I have 3 beautiful children, and my time with my family was the most important thing in the world to me. Way more important than any money. After my divorce, I would have given everything away because I can always make money, but you can't get back time with people. Certain things have permanent, lasting consequences, you know. So, yeah, I do regret working so hard.
My regret wouldn't sting as bad if I was regretting it for my private jet like he was. There will always be trade-offs. By becoming as successful as he, it meant sacrificing certain things regarding his family time and his marriage. But the other side of that coin is that if he didn't work as hard and maybe didn't become successful at all, then he still might have lost his marriage and his kids in the divorce. Completely opposite decision may still have led to the same outcome in the end. Point being that there is no point in living with that regret. You made your decisions, and all you can do is live with it and make the best of it. If I was him, I would use that wealth I've built to buy back some of that time lost with my family.
Let me tell you the fundamental thing. The type of man that you want has options. He can choose Israel, India, Egypt.
Can I say I wouldn't want a man who didn't choose me?
The challenge is what you are bringing to the table, what you want. The other girls are not going to fight him for. You want him to support and join your team as well. These other two girls, India and Egypt, say, I will just join this team. I'm not trying to do all those. They have the advantage over you. You are combative. You are combative. When talking to you, we're going to have to argue. With those girls, you don't have to argue. So the challenge is going to be, why would he choose them over
wouldn't
you?
a man get bored by a woman who doesn't have any opinion or care at all?
Okay.
And so the unfortunate reality is that is not true. And if you keep on viewing men view women the way you view men, you will keep on experiencing the same negative results over and over again. No, to answer your question, no, they will not get bored. It's actually peaceful.
I really hope she listened and listened well, because he gave her the keys to the kingdom. He made a really good point at the end when he answered her question, and I want to reiterate it. At the end of the day, a man just wants peace. What she thought of as boring is actually the peace that men want more than anything else in the world when they are in a relationship with a woman. No man wants to constantly deal with a woman that doesn't know her place or role in the relationship. No man wants to deal with a woman where he meets resistance from her for everything. A man might put up with it initially, but he will soon get tired of it and cut his losses. Women, if you want to finally start having some success with men, please just apply this advice.